Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. If you're in a relationship, how do you guys handle your finances? I feel like there's three main approaches. One, combine everything into joint accounts. Basically, you both merge everything into shared accounts. Checking, savings, investments, they are all put together. You probably have your own respective retirement accounts through your own employers, but outside of that, everything is put together. There is no yours, there is no mine, there's just ours. Then we have the yours, mine, and ours approach. Here you each have your own money, so to speak. Like when you get a paycheck, it would come to your own personal checking account. Then traditionally you would send out a portion to the joint checking account that would help take care of joint expenses, usually centering around the home. But outside of contributing to joint expenses, you retain control over the money in your personal account. You might even have your own personal checking, your own savings, and your own investments. And finally, completely separate. You don't merge your finances at all. You handle your own finances and your partner handles their finances. You probably split some expenses and you probably divvy up others. You take responsibility for some, your partner takes others, but there is no joint account. There is no our money, there is your money, and there's my money. Obviously, there is an unlimited number of ways to divvy up your finances. I feel like these are just the most talked about ones. Maybe you and your partner identify spot on with one of these, or maybe you somehow fall in between two of them. But I am really curious, how do you and your partner manage finances? Let me know in a comment down below. And I know some people feel very strongly about which approach is best. In fact, I found an internet thread talking about just this with people sharing their opinions. Joint accounts. I don't understand why people keep them separate. Before I got married at 28, I watched and listened to my friends talking about my money and her money. Marriage is supposed to be a partnership, trust between two people, and that never sounded like complete trust. It's ours, not hers, nor mine. Have separate accounts and have never had a problem. I pay for certain things, she pays for certain things. Just because you keep separate accounts doesn't mean you're keeping everything separate. There's this thing called communication. Honestly, I can't imagine using the same account. It just seems weird to me. If one of us wants to make a big purchase, we consult and figure out whose savings account it'll come out of. It's worked for 22 years. I'm sure the second we switched to one joint account, we would be in divorce court within a year. Oh my gosh, that one might be the best one. It's not couples stay together because they have joint accounts. It's that couples who trust each other stay together. And couples who trust each other also have joint accounts. Clear as day. Whew, that one sounds like it has a little bit of spice added in. If you keep everything separate being married, you're really just roommates that sleep together. Oh my gosh, I think I spoke too soon. I think that one is the spicy one. I mean, I get that people have strong opinions about this. But is there really one right approach? Is there a way to handle your finances that leads to a better relationship? Well, thanks to a new study from Cornell University and the University of Chicago, we might have an answer to that. We studied thousands of couples and looked both at their transaction data as well as surveys over many years studying their relationship satisfaction. And what we found is that couples who have joint accounts stay together longer, adding they're more satisfied in their relationships, but they also spend money differently in that they tend to spend more on sensible, utilitarian stuff and less on hedonic kind of stuff. I mean, that all sounds great. Merge your finances, stay together longer, greater relationship satisfaction, spend in a way that is more likely to consider the other person. Those are all wonderful things. And I get it, marriage is a partnership, two people coming together to build a life together. So it seems very logical just to go ahead and merge your finances. And honestly, it probably makes your life a whole lot simpler just to have everything all in one spot, to have one checking and one savings and one set of investments. Very simple, very streamlined. And it can probably help you feel more like you're on the same team, working towards the same goal. Importantly, this study did add the benefits of pooling money together was particularly strong among couples with scarce financial resources. And that makes a lot of sense. At lower income levels, it's probably more essential to pool your funds in order to afford life's essentials. As each individual income increases though, so too do people's individual ability to afford more. Here's something you can do right now to save money. Switch to Mint Mobile, who I'm partnering with for today's video. You might already know Mint Mobile because you've seen their funny ads with Ryan Reynolds, who happens to be their owner.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile. With a holiday offer, I think that you're gonna like. When you switch to Mint now, you'll get 3 months of premium wireless free. on any plan.
Mint Mobile offers premium wireless service for as low as $15 a month, and you don't have to sacrifice on coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G networks. They keep costs low by selling directly to you online. They cut out the retail stores and the salespeople. Switching to Mint is super easy thanks to their digital eSIM cards. You simply sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your own home. You can keep your current device and phone number and easily switch services. And if your phone isn't eSIM compatible, Mint will ship you a new SIM card free of charge. Unlimited nationwide talk and text plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. Mint will show you how much data you use each month and recommend plans that save you money. Mint also offers a modern family plan that lets you set up a super affordable family plan with as little as 2 lines. With my previous provider, I was paying close to $100 a month. With Mint, I have the same service experience on my end for a fraction of the price. You can't beat that. As an added savings bonus through January 15th, if you purchase a 3-month plan, you'll receive an additional 3 months free using my link, mintmobile.com/Erin Talks Money. The link is also in the description box down below, or you can simply scan the QR code on the screen. This offer is available on all plans, including unlimited. Stop paying more than you need to for your wireless carrier and start saving big with Mint Mobile. I think merging everything into joint accounts is very traditional. Going back a generation or two, that's just kind of what people did. People often got married very young and had very little to speak of in terms of finances, got married, went to the bank, opened up a joint account, and set out building their life together. But we also have to consider that there's a bit of history to this. It wasn't until the year 1862 that women even had the legal right to go and open their own bank account. Prior to that, that was a privilege reserved only for men. And even after women were given that legal right, well into the 1960s, many banks refused to provide women with bank accounts of their own, which led to the opening of female-only banks. And further, until the Equal Credit Opportunity Act of 1974, a woman couldn't even get her own credit card. Prior to that, a bank could refuse to issue a credit card to an unmarried woman, and if a woman was married, her husband was required to co-sign. Many banks required single, divorced, or widowed women to bring a man with them to co-sign for a credit card. And some discounted the wages of women by as much as 50% when calculating their credit card limits. So really, the roots of joint finances came out of necessity. Women were not allowed to have their own accounts. I think as our world has changed, women in the workforce, women earning their own pay, marriages happening later in life, it really seems like a natural progression, this idea of having separate accounts, because it's actually an option now. To me, personal finance is a soft science. I don't think there is one right approach. There's just the approach that is right for you and your partner. I think any and all of these approaches can work. They just have to work for the two of you. At the end of the day, I don't really have a strong opinion on how other people handle their finances. I have the attitude of, hey, you do you. Do what makes you happy, do what works for you. I do, however, have very strong opinions on how finances are handled in my personal relationship, and I would never merge everything, no matter what a study says. My husband and I follow a yours, mine, and ours approach. And obviously, being that this is the approach that we follow, my personal feeling is that this one's the best approach. Here's why I think that. Protection for premarital savings and debts. My husband and I got married on the brink of turning 30, so that means we had a significant number of years of working, saving, and investing under our belts by the time we got together. So to me, it made no sense whatsoever to combine everything we've been working so hard to build individually just because we got married. So the accounts we had prior to getting married remain our individual accounts. He has his and I have mine. And I also think this line of thinking works for debts as well as investments. If you marry someone with debts, maybe that is student loans, auto loans, child support payments, or alimony, and you combine all of your finances, your money can become subject to your spouse's creditors if they don't stay current with their bills. So I think if there's debts involved, a bit of separation can be a good thing too. Money has a big influence on our lives, and having money that is seen as yours can create a feeling of independence and empowerment. Now, of course, the argument can be made on the other side as well. Maybe not combining your finances makes you feel like you're not on the same team. As the Cornell study found, combining finances increased how interdependent you feel with each other, how much you rely on each other. But I'm of the mind that everyone should retain their own independence in a relationship. I certainly don't want to be dependent on my partner. I think what makes a great partnership is two individuals coming together, working towards the same goals, who support each other, who have each other's backs, but aren't dependent on each other. I think it's really healthy to keep some level of independence, and I think having access to your own money helps to give you that. At least that's my personal opinion. When you have your own bank account, and this kind of goes along with that independence thing, I feel like you can spend a little bit more freely. I feel like if you want something, you can hit buy without having to check in with your partner. Of course, communication matters, and when it comes to bigger ticket items, it is absolutely essential, and you want to make sure that you and your partner discuss those and make sure that you're on the same page. But I feel like if my husband and I just had a joint account, that I would have to run every single purchase past him before I hit buy. And quite frankly, I don't want to have to ask him if I want to buy a moisturizer or whatever I want to buy. And in the same vein, I don't want him running every single purchase past me. I feel like we're both adults. We should retain the freedom to make a purchase without permission. And it very well could be that those who have joint accounts don't feel like they have to run small purchases past their partner. But I would feel like I would have to, so it doesn't work for me. So with the approach we use, the yours, mine, and ours approach, I feel like we get the best of both worlds. We get to still maintain our independence, but we come together and as a team work to build our future. We're saving and investing for our future together. We tackle the major expenses together like this home. But again, personal preference. The other thing worth mentioning is the event of a breakup. Sometimes relationships don't work. Of course, no one starts a relationship thinking it's going to end, but sometimes relationships don't work. And I think some level of financial separation can offer a bit more protection in the event of a divorce. If you have your own accounts, it kind of softens the blow a little bit. Because when everything is crumbling around you, it helps not to have to worry about money, and it allows you to land on your feet a little bit. Having your own money gives you choices. Now, of course, in a yours, mine, and ours approach, a divorce would still be plenty complicated. You have joint assets and joint accounts that you still have to untangle, but at least you still always have access to your own personal accounts. That's also another reason I'm a big believer in prenups. My husband and I both watched our parents go through kind of messy divorces, and it leaves its mark, and you want to make sure that you're protected. Ultimately, I think any of these approaches can work. They just have to work for you and your partner. I think you can make arguments in a good case for any of them. I think it just comes down to personal psychology. Personally, I think the middle of the road approach is best. That to me is the Goldilocks. Combining everything, that just feels a little bit too stifling, and it feels like I lose my independence. But keeping everything separate, it doesn't feel like we're building a life together. So to me, the yours, mine, and ours approach, that's the sweet spot. What do you guys think? Leave it in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye.